Hello, everybody! This is the OB2 coming at you with my episode review of episode 8 of season 2 of Kamisama Kiss. Yeah! Now, first off, this was a pretty interesting episode. Things are finally coming together in this episode, because the last one felt like they were just setting things up, and now everything's coming together. So, now this episode starts off with, of course, where it left off with Jiro holding Nanami's hand, and like, what are you doing here? Are you some sort of nymph that's here, a female nymph? And we find out why he's like that, kind of, because according to him, women are not allowed on the mountain. So we have that going on. And she gets away, finally, and runs back. And of course, she was supposed to be on a bathroom break. And she gets back, and she runs into Tomoe's arms. And he's like, "You're shivering. Why are you shivering? You're trembling." We get back, and we understand more about Jiro. He's hard-lined. Anyone who assumes that he seems are weak or just not strong, he will kick off the mountain, all this. So, in the end, basically everyone wants Shinjiro, aka Kurama, to basically come back and become the next head of the mountain. But Kurama says, "Sorry, I don't want to do this, but I have another method. We have the peach pills, which are this miracle cure that Nanami got from the gods, and we are going to try to get it to the third successor of the mountain, the head of the of the group of these yokai, of them." So basically, they're just going up, and the rest of the we have that, then basically comprising a plan how to get in there. The rest of and so that night we have a scene where basically Nanami is going to bed in her futon, and she's basically sharing a room with Tomoe, and so basically they're in the Tengu caves, and basically she's sharing a bed, and she falls asleep, and while Tomoe is falling asleep next to her in a separate futon with a little veil thing between them to separate the two, he's talking to himself, and he's like, "Why did I fall for such a woman?" He's admitting to himself he's fallen in love with Nanami, and he cannot figure it out himself. Why did he fall for her? Why did he fall for such a woman? And he's going after this. So in the process, she gets up. She's like moving around, and he looks over her. She gets up. She's going, "Oh, bathroom, bathroom," and she walks out to use the restroom. Once she comes back in, she accidentally crawls into Tomoe's futon with him, and he's like, first off, like, "This, your futon's over there," and she's like, and she's half really asleep. Then he starts stroking her hair, and gets really close to like kissing her neck, and she wakes up, and he's like, and she's like, "Why are you in my futon?" He's like, "You're in my futon." She's like, "Ah!" So in that process, she basically runs over to her futon and goes back to sleep. The next morning, as they're devising their plan and figuring everything out, and the plan is they were trying to figure out, they're going to go in two pairs to storm the castle. They ended up having the two pairs is Nanami and Botomaru, the little Tengu from some of the previous episodes, are going to sneak in and give the Elder of the Mountain the peach pills, the cure, while on top of that, Tomoe and Shinjiro, aka Kurama, basically are going to create a diversion. But as they're getting this ready to send off in the morning, and Nanami's all dressed up, she says, "Tomoe, were you holding me last night, or did I dream that?" And he's like, he's like, I gotta come up with an excuse. He's like, well, or she's like, or where I have sleep, and he was like, well, I was half asleep. Well, you were in my thing, but I was half asleep too. I thought I was basically, I was hugging a kotetsu, a hug pillow, and drinking tea, and that's the excuse for why he was holding her in his futon that night. So that was hilarious. So then this episode basically ends up with basically Nanami sneaking in, and the great thing is that the version that basically Tomoe and Shinjiro, aka Kurama, are doing is Tomoe's coming in Kurama and claiming he is a land god and he is coming in to see everyone. So this is really interesting setup. I can't wait to see how things keep going in this episode, how things forward. I want to finally get a chance to see the head of the Tengu, because I want to see him when Nanami sneaks in and gives him the pills, because we all know Shinjiro K. Kurama does not want to take up the mantle, but again, they do not want Jiro to take up the mantle either. Jiro keeps looking at his hand in this episode and responding, so there's something going on in his head having to do with Nanami. He even said at one point, I wonder what her name is. So there's something going on with Jiro in this episode. But I really want to see the head of the mountain. I want to see... I have a feeling Jiro's going to bump into Nanami because there's got to be something going on. And things are going to come to light. And at what point is Tomoe going to admit to Nanami he has feelings for her and that they can actually be together? And this is also, I'm going to look forward to the interaction between Tomoe and Shinjiro, aka Kurama, because Tomoe is going to have to pretend to be his familiar, and he's going to have to let Shinjiro, aka Kurama, walk over him to play this god, and you got to know how basically their friction is. He's going to do it. He's going to walk over all over Tomoe just to have fun in order to have this diversion. So this was a good episode. Thus, this is the old boy 82 saying. If you like this video, please click like. If you want to see more, please subscribe. This is 82 signing